cherry bombs. We are finally back for part 2 of my Miami trip. I am so sorry that it's taken so long, you all. If I would have known it would have taken this long to post part 2, I would have waited to post part 1. I want to apologize for how long it has taken to get to part 2. I had no idea that after part 1 that my life was about to be so hectic. Not even in a bad way, but just like literally I have been so freaking busy, and I'm just like, oh my god. And then I realized in part 1 that before I could post part 2, I had pieces of the story that I left out. So yeah, I had to add those in because otherwise the story, it was just pieces of the story that were like major pieces. And when I went back and was watching part 2, I was like, wow, girl, you forgot some major details. So I'm about to add those in. You'll see me kind of sidebarring into the story time in this outfit, but yeah, I'm about to post the rest of part 2. So before we get into the rest of the freaking story, because it was crazy, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel, turn on your notifications, because I'm very sporadic with how I post. You all already know that. I can't keep any promises when it comes to me doing posting times. Also, give this video a thumbs up so that more people can continue to find my content and we can continue to grow. I'm screaming because I have my dancer bag in the back, but I always sit it on the corner of my bed. It's just, that's her spot. That's where she sits. But before we get into this story, I do know that I'm probably more than likely going to get a lot of questions about this hair, so I'm going to give you guys hair details. This is not sponsored in any way, shape, or form. I just really like this hair and I got this for a deal. So this hair right here is 26 inches. It's so pretty. I love it. It's like really pretty. It's 26 inches and the closure is, if y'all can see, it is a HD closure, so literally undetectable. I love it. I'm over glue wigs at this point. I'm over glue wigs. I'm over frontals. I don't want to have to glue anything to my head, and I also want to give these sides of my head a break. So this is actually a 5x5 closure wig with HD lace. I got it from a guy on IG up here in New York. His name is Kimi John. I'll put all his details in the description down below, and then it'll also be off to the side as I'm saying this. But literally 26 inches, 5x5. I paid $365 for this hair and he delivered. So after delivery it was $375, which is really good for 26 inches of bomb ass hair with an undetectable ass lace, period, bitch. He did what he had to do. Okay, so I will be linking all that in the size as well as the description. And then I also want to give a shout out, if you guys have not gotten your palettes yet, to the Painted by Kathy palette. Ooh. To the Painted by Kathy palette. I have a little bit of makeup on my nails, you guys, so ignore that. But this is my favorite blush palette, you guys. This is my favorite. I will link her description details in the box down below as well. But let me show you guys the colors. I have been wearing this palette out. This is something that's been in use, so you guys, it's a little dirty, but she's been in use. I've been wearing her out. So this is the palette. Beautiful shades for all skin tones, especially of our more melanated women. Beautiful shades, big ass palettes, and I really just feel like that's a steal as well. I've just been finding a lot of products that I've been falling in love with lately. And last but not least, before we get into this story, shout out to my nail tech. You all are always asking to see my nails up close and personal, aka me. Okay, you guys are always asking to see my nails up close and personal. These are my Halloween, this is my Halloween glam set. It's trying to focus on my head, but I want to focus on the nails. These are my Halloween glam set, you guys. Super fire. Got my little Halloween drip, and I also have my jewels, because anybody who knows me, I like bling. I'm a blingy ass bitch. I'm not really one for designs, but I am a sucker for bling. So these are my nails right now. This is the nail cam for you guys, because everybody's always like, show us your nails up close, show us your nails. Those are my nails, done by yours truly. Okay, so let's get into this story. I've been talking too much. Okay, y'all, if you need a refresher before I get into this, please go back and watch the other video. Again, I'm sorry it took so long. You shouldn't have to go rewatch it, but Do it anyway. Y'all rewatch seasons, whole seasons of TV shows, okay? Rewatch that damn video. But in the video I was talking about a character. His name is Runner Boy. Runner Bitch, actually. Bitch ass nigga. Runner Boy pulled the stunt that he pulled in the club at the office. And I was super pissed. The girl that I was dancing out there with, I think I called her Maybelline. Maybelline was irritated too. And then the other girl that we met, of course, because he literally fucked our bag up. And again, I said this in my last video, I can't all the way blame him. I have to take accountability as well, because I should have just, my cap radar is normally so good, and this time it failed me. And I just made a lot of mistakes on this trip, and I'm just gonna be very honest and very transparent. I made a lot of mistakes. So anyway, so if you know the situation with Runner Boy, then you know who I'm talking about as I continue this story. Runner Boy calls me after he was like, oh, you know, leave the club. I'm like, why the fuck would I leave the club for you? He keeps calling me, he keeps texting me, whatever. He's like, oh, let me come talk to you about what happened. Like, let me make it right. And I'm thinking, make it right? You about to come drop me off some bands? Because that's what I missed out on. So that's literally the only thing that's gonna make it right. The fuck? And honestly, you need to drop it off for me and my friend, because bitch, you fucked over us both. So in my head, I'm like, that's what would make this right. That's what would rectify this situation. There's nothing else other than you paying me some money that's gonna rectify this situation. He's outside in his car or whatever. He's like, you know, I want to talk to you, da da da. Like, I just want to explain what happened, woo doo woo. And I'm really not trying to hear it. I'm just like, what is there to explain? Like, what the fuck is there to explain? I have two eyes. I just seen the shit happen with my two very functioning 20/20 vision eyes. Like, bitch. And actually, if we really want to be honest, one of my eyes is 25/20. They told me that when I went to the doctor. They told me. Anyway, so he pulls up or whatever, and I didn't realize his cousin was in the car too, because his windows were hella tinted. Florida shit. His windows were mad tinted. So he gets out of the car to talk to me. Y'all, why he keep on trying to blame the situation on me, talking about some, no, I mean, you left the section. I'm like, bitch, I keep telling you I left the section because literally there was already money on the ground. You already had girls in the section. What I'm gonna do at that point? I can't come into the section at that point. Like, he keep on trying to, like, it's not clicking. He keep trying to gaslight me and shit. I'm just like, I'm not going for it. He kept trying to feed me bullshit, constantly just talking out the side of his neck. I'm just like, bro, I was not born yesterday. I wish I could tell you I remember what he was saying verbatim, but honestly, it was a whole bunch of mush mouth ass shit, and I was tuning a lot of it out. I was not going for it. Like, no, you're trying to sweet talk me, and that's not even gonna work, because keep it a buck, you're not my type. Like, honestly, you're trying to sweet talk me right now, and I'm like legit pissed, and this is over some bread type shit, and I'm just not, you're not about to talk your way out of this. So then the cousin comes out of the car, who, again, I didn't know the cousin was in the car. His cousin comes out of the car, and he's like, oh, where's my friend at? Talking about Maybelline. And I'm just like, Maybelline does not fuck with y'all right now. Y'all just did us wild crazy. Like, some guys think everything is so sweet, and if they just laugh about it enough, or if they just like play around enough, that you're gonna come around and you're gonna start playing around with them, or you're gonna start kikiing too. And I'm like, we not kikiing, bitch. Nobody is a kikiing with you right now. Bitches was supposed to leave with the big bag, and bitches left with nothing. We're not kikiing with you right now. Let me not say nothing, but it definitely was not, it wasn't worth paying that high ass tip out with what we left with. It was not worth it at the fuck all. So no, we're not about to kiki out here. So his cousin is like, oh, you know, where's your friend at? And I'm just like, I'm over the conversation at this point. And then Maybelline and the other girl, I can't remember if I gave the other girl a name. Maybelline and the other girl are like, hey, you know, like, we're hungry, we're about to get something to eat. And so mind y'all, it's like maybe it's a good 5 something in the morning. They're like, we're hungry, we're about to go get something to eat, so we're about to come meet you in the front, because again, I'm in the front of the hotel. They're at the pool of the hotel, like smoking and stuff, but I don't smoke. So they come to the front. So myself, Maybelline, and oh girl, we all get in the car to go eat, whatever. I dubbed the conversation. He's still texting me, he's still calling me, I'm still dubbing it. And he had he had called me one more time, and I picked it up because I'm just like, there's literally, because he kept on like trying to be like, oh, you know, why you mad at me, like da da da. I'm like, I'm not mad at you, I just don't fuck with you. I'm literally not mad. I kept on telling him too, because I'm like, I'm trying to end the conversation. He keep on trying to like argue with me. I'm like, I'm not arguing with you. First off, would I look like arguing with somebody that's not my nigga and that I'm not trying to date? Why would we even be arguing? Where they do that at? So I keep on telling him, I'm like, I'm not trying to argue with you. It's cool. Like, you know, when you say it's cool, like, and somebody be shook because you said it's cool and they think that you're supposed to have this like big reaction, but you don't. So he keeps trying to plead his case, and I'm just like, there's literally nothing else to talk about. And he's like, you know what, he's like, I'll give you $200 right now, like I'll meet y'all at where y'all going to eat at or whatever, and I'll drop it off to you. I'm like, I'm looking at the phone like, it's the audacity for me. You think that I would let $200 rectify a situation that you made it sound like we was both gonna walk away with $5K a piece? And you think dropping off your little baby ass, measly ass, bitch ass $200 is gonna make me fuck with you again? I'm insulted. I'm offended. I'm appalled. I'm taken aback by that statement. So I told him, I'm like, you can keep your little ass $200. Like, don't nobody want that. Like, the fuck? I was so offended that he really sat there and offered me $200. I deadass was like, you can keep that, I don't want it. And you can delete my number and you can block me. Yeah, with the quickness. Anyway, that was that. So, because it gets worse. So that was Saturday. We got sad as fuck Saturday. So we're supposed to leave Sunday morning, and we were like, you know what, because we bought a one-way to Miami, and we were like, whenever we decide we're gonna leave, that's when we'll buy our ticket back. But we had already decided that was gonna be Sunday morning, but we hadn't bought a ticket. So Saturday night, well, morning, when we get back to the hotel room, we're like, yo, this trip has not been going as planned. Let's give it one more day. We'll try to run it up one more time. So we stayed Sunday. We put another day on the room. We stay Sunday. Sunday night, we go to this club. It's called Club Climax. Now, they told us when we went to Club Climax, they were like, oh my God, you guys are so pretty. They're like, and this is security that told us, not the management, because management most of the time, management not gonna tell you when it's a bad day. Sometimes they will. Like G5, when we came in on that Wednesday, the house mom was very honest. She said Wednesdays are slow. You know, so don't think that all of our days are like this, just Wednesdays are slow. She was very honest. So security on Sunday at Climax had told us that Climax is, their good day is on Monday. They were like, Sunday is probably gonna be pretty slow, our good day is Monday. So by now we had met a third girl. I'm gonna call her Mimi. So Mimi was like, got a regular who will come in, he'll take care of us at Climax on Sunday, so even if it's slow, don't worry. So that's why we went to Climax, because we had tried to, so y'all, let me tell y'all, we wanted to go to Scarlett's in Miami. That's the club we wanted to dance at. It's a white club, they make hella bread, it's not all that extra shit. It's not directly in Miami, it's in Hollandale, but they make money, and that's where we wanted to go. Scarlett's was like, we have too many girls, so if y'all want to dance here, you're gonna have to come back. And when did they say come back? Again, none of these clubs were rude. They were very honest, like, but they were very nice. Like, some clubs, when they tell you to come back, they be extra rude for no reason. None of the clubs in Miami were rude. So at Scarlett's, they were like, hey, we got a lot of girls right now. We just filled up our last 2 slots, and we are not gonna be taking in more girls until probably like September. So they were like, you know, y'all can come back in September, we're sorry, whatever. We was like, okay, cool. That's the club we wanted to dance at, because mind you, you got me and Maybelline. Maybelline is very model slim, like very slim. Tall, chocolate, pretty, slim. Then you got me, I'm average size, short, caramel, I guess you would call me. So us in urban clubs, I already was sketchy about, because I'm like, urban clubs like really thick women, and they like them light skin, depending on where you're at. Now Miami, they like them all colors, just as long as you thick. They don't really care what color. That's one thing I can't get Miami. They don't care, just as long as you thick. But neither one of us is thick, so I'm already like, I don't know, because I'm pretty turned off of dancing at urban clubs, because it's always like that. It's always like you gotta be thick, or you gotta be thick and light skin. So yeah, I'm turned off of working at urban clubs for that reason. I personally do not like to be in urban clubs, but that's where we was at in Miami. And also the dancer I was with, Maybelline, was like, I'm a lazy dancer. Like, she fits the type that would be in a white gentleman's club for sure, 100%. And in those clubs, you can do a lot of talking, and you don't really have to do a lot of dancing, and you can literally use your mouthpiece and get you paid for the whole night. In urban clubs, you cannot do that. So she was like, you know, she had made it clear beforehand. She was like, yeah, I'm a lazy dancer. Like, she kept saying that, but I'm like, you can't be a lazy dancer. And she's also from up north, and up north, girls up here don't really dance like that. So she kept saying like, oh, I'm a lazy dancer. I'm a lazy dancer, as in like, she more so, she doesn't do a whole lot of dancing. She does more of like, you know, talk game is strong. Nothing wrong with that, but down south you cannot do that, especially down south in urban clubs, because they literally don't give a fuck about what you have to say. They don't want to talk to you. They just want to throw the money on fat asses and see you shake your ass. So anyway, we get to climax, and the bouncers are like, yeah, Sunday is not a good day for us. Really, Monday is like our good day. Like, y'all should come back tomorrow. Y'all should come back tomorrow. They weren't saying like don't dance that night as a Sunday night, but they were making us very aware that it probably was not going to be a good night. But the girl, Mimi, was like, you know, I got somebody coming in tonight, we'll be fine. She had her, I can't even say sugar daddy, I would call him a trick, because I feel like there are like when you, I don't know, in the sugar world, like you have like your sponsors, your sugar daddies, you have tricks. And tricks are the ones that give you like, I don't know, you can go out to like little like meals and stuff with them, might get a little bit of money for your nails or your hair, maybe here and there, but tricks are not where you get big money from. That's not who's gonna give you $1,500 just to hang out, or that's not who you're gonna sell a business plan to and they put $5K towards your business. Those are sponsors. So I would call him definitely a trick. He does not spend enough money to where I would call him a sugar daddy. And he's like, you know, he's coming or whatever we'll do. So we stay at climax because their tip out is mad cheap. And we're just like, okay, she got somebody coming, we should be straight. But in my head, and again, this is me not listening to my discernment or my intuition, because in my head, I'm like, unless he is about to throw, like 3K, which means we'd each make $1,000, this is not gonna be worth it. And I kind of knew in my soul, in my heart of hearts, that he was not finna be no 3K throwing ass motherfucker. So I was like, I feel like this is a setup. But we were so down bad that I was just like, okay, you know what, something is better than nothing. Me trying to be optimistic, I'm like, maybe we'll get 5 apiece. This man comes in, he comes with his friend, him and the friend, they're throwing money or whatever. But respectfully so, the trick threw most of his money on Mimi. So she definitely made like a good 5 or so, more than 5 maybe, I don't know. But, and then he throws a little bit on myself and Maybelline, but I don't know, I don't think him or the friend was really vibing with Maybelline, because they weren't really showing her love. They were more so showing me and Mimi love. So I get on stage, his friend gives me $100 on the stage, and then also throws cash on me on top of giving me a $100 bill while I'm on stage. So I get off the stage, and I don't know, his friend was just giving me vibes like, oh yeah, you should be so like, basically like, some men get in the club and they think $100 is like, they just done bought your whole night. They feel like you should just be kissing their ass because they give you $100. I'm like, you don't realize how little bit $100 really is. And I'm grateful for every 100 that I get, because shit, you find 10 people to give you $100, you done made a stack for the night. or you find 5 people to give you 200, you done made a stack for the night. So I'm grateful for it. But please don't get it in your mind that because you spent a little $100 that I'm about to be up your ass. It's never given that. The friend was kind of giving me vibes like, oh, I done spent $100. Like, you need to basically be like all up on me type shit. I'm like, you spent $100. I could see me really kicking it here with you for a minute if you spent $500. Then yeah, I would kick it with you for maybe an hour. But you spent $100. You finna get 20 minutes out of me, and then I'm finna work the floor and see who else about to spend some money. So anyway, I swear y'all, men be thinking they doing the most in the club with $100. I swear, all the time. So Friday night is like the club that we were at Friday night, which was Climax, was super, not Friday, Sunday night. Sunday night, that club was super dead. There was nobody in there. It was a really hood club. It was hood as fuck. You can tell that the people that come in there are like from the surrounding hoods around that club. Like, the club is in like a hood area. Like, it's just very hood. It's very dusty on the inside. It is, I'll be like, honestly, it gave me the vibes of, I'm like, this is the type of club you come here when all the other clubs in Miami turn you down. You come here when you got kicked out of another club and you can't dance nowhere else type shit. I'm like, this is what this is giving me. This is not giving me like this is anybody's first option. This is giving me like bitches come here like y'all know how like with football, or at least from what I've heard, I'm not about to pretend like I know a whole lot about football, but I've heard that with football, if you get traded to the Browns, that's where they send motherfuckers to die. That means your career is basically dead. Climax was giving the Browns. If you are dancing at Climax, it is because you have no other options. That's what it was giving. So I'm like, this is dusty. This is hella raggedy. Me and Maybelline and I both like, this is mad raggedy. We made like a little bit of money, but it wasn't enough to make that our club that we went to for the night. Oh my god, you guys, I have to stop this and pause this and just quick interjection, because this man, I'm gonna call her Melly. I don't know what I called her in the last video, you guys. I'm sorry. I wish I remembered what I called her. Not Maybelline, but the other girl that we were with. This man, it was his birthday. I forgot to mention this. It was his birthday and they got like, he got fucked up. And we ended up having to, I had to drive his car to our next destination because, mind y'all, we went and continued drinking after we left Climax, because we were like, this was an okay night, but because it wasn't anything spectacular, I need a drink. I'm not lit enough for this. So we continued to drink after that. Now, I also don't know if I mentioned that he had a friend with him, and the friend had showed me love when I was on stage or whatever. The friend didn't come with us, like his cop friend, because the friend was a cop, because he had told me. He was like, and I hate when law enforcement comes into the club and they try to spin this like, oh, you should feel so safe with us because we're cops. And I'm like, first off, a lot of you are fucking perverts. And the statistics between people in law enforcement and the military who also be whooping the asses of their spouses, safe with you? Hell no. And honestly, every time I've had like somebody with law enforcement be a client or whatever in the club, they be on some weird shit. Like, they just be trying to do the most, be trying to touch you in inappropriate places. I'd be like, ew. Anyway, but yes, the cop friend did not come with us when we left Climax. So we all, the Melly's, I guess you would say her trick. I ended up driving his car to the next destination because he was extremely freaking lit. Y'all, we get in this car. It had the most strong ass, disgusting, horrible, just rancid meat smell I've ever smelled. And it was like a rancid meat that's been sitting in the heat smell. Like, and all three of us make a face when we get into his car. And we're like, and first off, I'm also confused because I'm like, you have all this money, you've got this beat up ass old, I think it was like an Explorer or whatever, but it was just like, it was raggedy as fuck. it was something wrong with the car, so that I don't know if it was the axle or whatever the fuck. I've been in one other person's car that was like this before, and I was just like, why do y'all be letting y'all cars get this bad? Like, I know having a car is expensive because I used to have one, but there's just some shit where it's like some shit you just gotta break down and pay that shit. His axle or whatever on the car, y'all, as you would be driving the car, or like when you would go to turn the car, I've never, or no, maybe it was like the power steering or something. It was something wrong with the steering. You would go to make a turn and have to put your whole weight into, like, I've never had to pull a wheel that hard to turn it. Like, it was like, it took a nigga strength to turn that car. Like, I'm just like, now granted, I was handling the fuck out of that shit, but I'm just like, why is your shit like this? And you have money. Like, I'm confused. It's not giving what it's supposed to give. So anyway, I'm driving this car, and we asked him, we're like, why does your car, even honestly, no, we asked him this before we pulled off. We're like, why does your car smell like this? Like, what is that smell? Why does this man proceed to say he's had chicken sit in his car for like, I can't remember how long he said that chicken was in his fucking car. I'm like, this trip is just ghetto. Like, this trip is giving amounts of ghetto that I'm not used to, and amounts of ghetto that I'm just like, this is ghetto as fuck. Like, y'all, that smell was so fucking strong, bro. I'm traumatized just thinking about it. I'm getting, ugh. His car was dirty as fuck, and I'm just like, can I Uber? The fuck? This is why, y'all, whenever I go out of town, just sidebar, anybody that like is close to me knows this, whenever I go out of town, I like to be in control of the whip. So I always get rentals. I stay getting rentals when I go out of town, like all the time. And I don't even mean like no bullshit. Like, I get like Hertz, Enterprise rentals, just like, you know, like reliable places, because I want to be able to leave when I want to leave. I don't want to be stuck anywhere. And I have been in 3 crashes with people. Thank God they were minor stuff. It was never anything crazy. But I've been in 3 different crashes with people because they be stuck on riding people's fucking asses. And I'm a speed demon. All my friends are like, oh my God, you drive crazy. I actually don't drive crazy. I just drive fast. But one thing I don't do, I always give people enough space to where if they need to slow down or something happen, I believe in the 3-car rule. I don't care. This is sidebar. I believe in the 3-car rule. Don't be riding people asses with me in a car. I don't like that. It gives me extreme anxiety, because every crash I've been in has been with a motherfucker who was riding somebody's ass. Riding somebody's ass, and riding their ass to the point where there will be a car beside them and a car in front of them, and they're riding the ass of the car in front of them so hard that if that person were to even slightly brake, you have nowhere to go on either side, because you are so close in the ass crack, in the crevices of the ass crack of this car in front of you, that we would have nowhere to go. I hate people that drive like that. So I always normally get rentals because I've just had bad experiences letting other people fucking drive. I don't like being in the car with other people driving. And ultimately, a lot of these clubs, we were taking fucking L's because we also were during the day. And I kept on saying, I was like, yo, I'm like, we're down here. I'm one of those people, if I'm somewhere to make money, if I go out of town, which is why if I were to do another out of town mission, I would either just be a lot more pushy, I would say, or I would just go by myself. I don't think I would do another out of town mission with somebody else unless it was like my best friend, which is Kathy, who a lot of y'all know in the chat. That's the only probably other way that I would go out of town with somebody else. Otherwise, I would just go by myself, because I realized that me and other people travel differently, and that's cool. Everybody's like that. Everybody travels differently than their friends. But I kept on saying, I was like, hey, we're here to make money, not spend a whole lot of money before we're making money back. So every day when we're eating and stuff, I'm like, hey, let's find somewhere cheap to eat. Let's stop eating, because mind y'all, we were down here 5 whole days. I'm like, hey, let's find somewhere cheap to eat. let's stop eating at these places where we're spending $89 a person, damn near $100 a person to eat, and then we're going to these clubs where we know we have to pay a high ass tip out. So we're spending almost $100 on food, then we get to the club and have to spend another $100 to $150 or whatever we're paying. So you're already spent $200, $250 for the day. And at these clubs we're dancing at, we're not making but a little $300-400. Like, we was not making the money at these clubs that we make at our home club up here in New York. So I'm like, let's stop spending all this money on food. But I don't know, I just don't feel like my message was being received. And then also, I know that a lot of, so in New York, down south, when you go out to eat with friends, it's understood that everybody paying for their own shit. In New York, a lot of people like to put everything on one tab, and at the end you just split the tab evenly. Now, I don't like that way of eating because I spend money on what I know I can afford when I go out to eat. I'm not trying to pay for you and all your extra shit that you might order. So granted, me and Maybelline were ordering relatively the same shit, but there were some nights where, you know, hers was way more than mine, and I was like, split that. Because no, like, we down here, we're not making the money we're supposed to be making. We spending mad money on food. We do not need to be eating on the strip every day. We could be eating, just get something a little quick here and there, whatever, because that's just my mentality. I'm like, if we have not made it, or at least in this instance, I believe in manifestation and living the life that you know, feel like you deserve to live. I believe in that, but to a reasonable degree. And in this case, because we went down here on a mission to make money and we're not currently making money, we breaking even majority of the nights that we're here. I do not want to keep spending all this money on fucking food, and we've been breaking even. We have not made a profit, not yet. We could find somewhere, one of them little goddamn mom pop places to eat, and be spending $15, $20, $30 on food. Instead, we are eating on the strip and shit, spending fucking $100 on food. I'm like, what the fuck? Why we keep doing this to ourselves? Y'all, this is where I really should have just taken my ass home. I'm gonna tell y'all, we took a major L on this trip, a major L. And I'm just being honest. Not every night as a dancer is gonna be good, but when you go out of town, you also have to understand, like, you have to understand your audience. You have to understand what works for you. And you can't get caught up on what works for everybody else, because that's how you get fucked up, and that's how we got fucked up. So we end up being like, well, we haven't made, like, really not no money. We've been spending all this money. We're gonna stay one more day. Stupid. We're like, we're still in that, we're not leaving until we make some money back. Mind y'all, we also went the week after Rolling Loud. Stupid. This whole thing, I'm taking accountability. This was stupid. I deserved this, because this was very stupid. We go the week after Rolling Loud. We decided to stay one more day. So now it's Monday. We decided we're going to dance Monday night. We're going to leave Tuesday morning. Y'all, Monday night comes around. We end up back at G5. We were going to try, I think we were going to try Booby Trap. Everybody kept telling us Booby Trap is racist. Don't go out there. They're like, they don't like black girls like that. That's what everybody kept telling us. Heavy, heavy, heavy. They kept emphasizing that. So we're like, maybe not there. And then there was another club called Taboo that we were going to try out. I can't remember why we didn't end up doing Taboo, but we ended up back at G5 Monday night. We did not know there was an event going on at G5. So there's this event going on. They got this rapper from Detroit that came, who apparently is really big, super huge, and I didn't know who the hell he was. I never heard of him, but anyway, big popping dude. So everybody was coming out because this guy was coming out to rap, and then, you know, people come out because it's Miami, it's G5, people know about it. So just to name just a few names that were there that night, which normally I wouldn't name names, but this is like, I mean, you're at the strip club, people see you, it's not a secret. So J.R. Smith was in there, Young Miami was in there, the big rapper dude was in there, and then apparently a whole bunch of other people that must have been famous in some capacity or just have a lot of money at some capacity, because they literally, that club on that Monday had to go up over $100,000, because there was one section that had like 3 girls. They were throwing 20K. There was another section that had I don't know how many girls they had, but they threw like 10. You got another section that throws like 15, and then there's a section in the back that wasn't even supposed to be a section, but they just made it into a section, and they threw a smooth probably like 15 back there too, if not 20. So I'm like, god damn, we like on a Monday, what the hell? Like, they was going up in G5 on that Monday. So we're in there, and again, G5 is a club where you need to be in the sections to make money. It's a section club. You got some clubs where you can be kind of anywhere and make money, and then you got some clubs where being in a section is how you make most of your money. And G5 is a section type of club. So mind you, also with trying to be in the sections and how the girls wait out for the sections or whatever we do, like I was saying kind of earlier in the video, the sections work best for the girls that have either work done or are naturally big body. That is who they want in sections. That's who they pull. And not only that, in Miami, from what we noticed, is Miami is very loyal to the girls that live in Miami or are from Miami. So if your face card not really known down there, they don't give a fuck how pretty you are. They want the girls that they know, which I respect. Loyalty, baby, period. I fuck with it. You got other places where they don't give a damn about their house girls, but Miami not like that. They make sure their house girls get money, and they make sure that, yeah, that's what it is. Their house girls get money. If you're not one of the house girls, if you're not a regular dancer down there on the regular, you are very likely probably not making it into that section, into any section. And then not only that, G5 girls give me very much so, they like to try to bully you vibes. It's never that, so that's not why we weren't getting into sections. But overall, working at G5, the girls are very hella aggressive. When I say New York bitches got nothing on these bitches, they are a different type of aggressive, very aggressive. Once you show them that you can't be bullied, they'll kind of like fall back. You just do your own thing. So we weren't not getting into the sections because of that, but I'm just saying in general, if you're going to dance down there, know that they're very aggressive. They like to try to bully bitches. But yeah, G5, you got to get in a section. They're very loyal to their girls as well. And also what they'll do is everybody partners up. You have some clubs that you don't need a partner, and then you got some clubs that are clubs where you kind of need a partner to navigate that club. G5 is kind of a mixture of both, but what I noticed is a lot of the girls did have partners, so they'll make sure that they're themselves and their partner gets in the section and stuff, so they make sure they're good. So they're throwing mad money on stage, throwing mad money in the sections. We can't get in none of the sections. Okay, so I have to do a brief voiceover as well, because Mimi did something that really pissed me off during this as well. I was talking to this, he was like a music producer, verified on IG, blue check, everything. You could tell this man had a lot of money just by where he was sitting and how his section was set up, but also what he was wearing and what his guests were wearing, because it was his birthday. I'm talking to this man, and she comes up and she's in my ear, literally in my ear in front of him, going, oh, he doesn't have any money, come on, let's go somewhere else, he doesn't have any money, like rushing me to stop talking to the man. And I turned around, I said, girl, I literally like blanked on her, because I'm like, girl, don't you ever get in front of a customer and be insulting them in front of their face. And I dead ass can see that this man has mad fucking bread. And because she did that shit, she fumbled it for me. And he ended up having Maybelline come in the section, which I'm glad at least somebody made it in there. But he ended up having Maybelline go dance for his wife and giving her mad fucking bread. I'm like, that was so disrespectful for Mimi to even be in my ear like that. That was such a rookie move on her end. And I was so irritated. Because he dead ass, I mean, I don't think he heard her, but the way she was saying it, he could have easily heard her. And it would have been hella insulting to his face. I'm like, girl, not you don't understand how to network. And not you can't see that this man is very much so well endowed when it comes to money. Oh my God. Mind you, this is our last night, and this is at G5, so I'm not talking about climax. We're now at G5 on the Monday, and Mimi is in my ear in front of this potentially bomb-ass client. And she was being so impatient the whole night at G5. And we kept on telling her, girl, we cannot keep switching from section to section, because like I told y'all, they stand in front of sections there. I'm like, every time they get ready to throw some money, you want to go switch and stand somewhere else because you're impatient. And once the stage, like once it started to get popping, it kind of hurts you to get there early, because we got there early. By the time it got popping, we're no longer really in the rotation, because so many girls came after us, and they're rotating out the girls that came after us. So the later you come, the more beneficial, basically, because you get called onto the stage later in the night, which means you get called onto the stage when the night is popping. If you come early, you get called onto the stage when it's kind of like, it's alright, it's kind of slow, whatever. And then you be lucky if you get called on again the rest of the night, because that's how many girls is there. It's so many girls that, like, you don't see a lot of repeats, if any. And when it gets popping, it's the girls that got there later in the night that is gonna be on stage. So we like, damn, like we should have came later. But then if you would have came later, we paid $250. No, we paid $240 to dance on that Monday. $240. $240 to dance on that Monday. You wanna know how much of it we made back? Barely any of it. There was no money to be made on the floor. All the money was going into the sections. And that is what it was. Like, it's not always like that, but that on that particular night, there was no floor money in that bitch. No floor money in that bitch. It was badass bitches walking around not making no money. There was no money unless you got into a fucking section. So Monday night we get our ass kicked. I'm over it. I've had the worst fucking trip. I've come way more out of pocket than I made any of it back. I did not make none of it back. If anything, I overspent. Between the high ass tip outs, high ass food prices, fucking the hotel cost, the flight, I did not make none of that shit back. I probably spent $2,500 if not $2,700 that week I was in Miami, including everything, and I did not make any of that shit back. I broke even a couple of the nights, and then I ended up spending more some of the other nights. Miami was hell. I was just like, oh my god. Now granted, it didn't deter me to be like I would never go dance in Miami again. I would dance in Miami again. There's a lot of money to be made down there. There's a lot of money to be made. But would I do it completely differently? Fuck yes. I would not go down there with the same mindset. I would not go down there thinking that it was gonna be, I would just go down there a lot differently than we did this particular time. So yeah, I cried my eyes out Monday morning because I was so irritated, because literally dancing has been blessing my finances. So to go down and in a week take a L like that, when I was just getting into a position where it's like, you know, I am comfortable with my finances. I'm really happy with how everything is going, especially after, if y'all have watched my longer live, especially after being in a job for over a year where I was not making shit. So to start coming up the way that I was coming up, and then to go to Miami and make basically, and didn't fuck it up halfway, I was like, oh my gosh, bitch, I was sick. This story is already so long and so choppy and all over the place, but it's just Miami was crazy and so much shit happened. But I also have to tell you guys and make a separate story about the man who tried to sneak into a closet, and I caught him and had to blank on him also while we were in Miami. Not anybody that was mentioned in this story. Like, this is a completely separate story with separate characters, but also in Miami. But this is already entirely so long, so I'm just going to have to make that a whole nother story time. Miami was freaking wild. So that was my story about my horrible trip to Miami. Very honest, very transparent. Bitches made a lot of mistakes and paid for it. Should listen to my ancestors telling me to go to hell home. I'm over here talking about some, oh, I see 111 222 is 333, we're gonna make money. No, they was trying to tell me to take my ass home. But yes, that is my story, you guys. Just be mindful to anybody who is new at dancing. Just know that there is a lot that comes with the territory. If you're going out of town, just make sure you do your research thoroughly, and then also keep in mind the timing of when you're going. Yeah, just travel smart, you guys. Just be smart with what you do and stand your ground. Otherwise you'll end up like I ended up. But that's my story. I will see you guys in my next story time, and I'm out. And I'm gonna be more consistent, so just know that I have more stories, but they won't be this fucking long. Bye.